Hello, vinyl community. Elliot here, Lazy Dogs Records, and I'm doing another vinyl tag. This one is Soundtracks Vinyl Tag 2025, and Bozz started this one, and I'll put a link to his channel below. I think this is an interesting tag for us to do, showing our soundtracks, because I think most people that enjoy music also enjoy a good movie. And the two really go together like butter beans and corn, I guess you would say. So often, the music used in a movie makes a huge difference in how a scene is interpreted and how we feel about what we're seeing in a movie.
Some of the old songs, Sam.
Yes, ma'am.
Where is Rick?
I don't know. I ain't seen him all night.
When will he be back?
Not tonight no more. He ain't coming. He went home.
Does he always leave so early?
Oh, he never. Well, he's got a girl up to the Blue Parrot. Goes up there all the time.
You used to be a much better liar, Sam.
Leave him alone, Miss Elsa. You bad luck to him.
Play it once, Sam. For all time's sake.
I don't know what you mean, Miss Elsa.
Play it, Sam. Play as time goes by.
Oh, I can't remember it, Miss Elsa. I'm a little rusty on it.
I'll hum it for you. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-dee-da-da. Sing it, Sam.
You must remember this. A kiss is just a kiss. A sigh is just a sigh. The fundamental things apply as time goes by. And when two lovers woo, they still say I love you. On that you can rely. No matter what the future brings as time goes by.
Sam, I thought I told you never to play.
Now, that was from my favorite all time movie, what I consider the greatest movie of all time as well, Casablanca. Okay, I'll get started. Boz has 13 prompts for us to address in this. And the first one is our favorite 2024 soundtrack pickup. Doesn't have to be from 2024, but something that we picked up this year. And it is music by Mark Knopfler from the film Cow. I've never seen this film, but I like Mark Knopfler. So when I saw this for sale, I jumped at it. Second prompt is the last soundtrack you purchased in 2024 and the original motion picture soundtrack for Wild in the Streets. How many of you have seen this movie? I personally have never seen this movie, but I remember a good friend of mine, Donald, telling me I had to see this movie back when it originally came out, but somehow I never got a chance to see it. It co-stars Hal Holbrook and Millie Perkins, and Richard Pryor's in here, Shelley Winters, Christopher Jones, I'm not sure who that is, and Ed Bagley, not Ed Bagley Jr., but Ed Bagley. And the music is from the 13th Power is the name of the band. And the Senators is another name, Psychedelic Senate, done by the Senators. Wild in the Streets by Jerry Howard. I think the premise of the movie was that they were going to give 13-year-olds the right to vote, and the young people were going to take over the United States and the world, I guess. The third prompt is a soundtrack that you have multiple copies of, and I picked these up fairly often. The Shaft soundtrack, Isaac Hayes. What a great soundtrack. Very good movie, too. The black exploitation films really got going with the great Isaac Hayes doing this, the music for this. So, Shaft. Prompt 4 is soundtrack that includes the music that is your favorite genre. And at the same time, movies like Shaft and the other black exploitation films were coming out. A quiet little simple film came out that packed a huge punch. Sounder, 1972. Sounder came out. Paul Winfield and Cicely Tyson play in this, and it is a great, great movie. And the soundtrack is done by Taj Mahal. So a great deal of country blues in there. Great movie. Everybody should see this movie. Prompt 5 is a score rather than a what we traditionally think of as a soundtrack. And to me, a score means it's a play and they recorded the music used in that play. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't understand that concept, but correct me if I'm wrong here. They play The Sound of Music, and it's the original Broadway cast. Mary Martin and Richard Rodgers and Oscar Hammerstein doing the music and the lyrics, and that's a what I would think would be what we would refer to as a score, as opposed to a soundtrack, or maybe that's just a cast recording. And there's that gray Columbia 2i. Number 6 is our oldest soundtrack, and I've got both of these are from 1959. I can't put my hands on the actual Gershwin Porgy and Bess soundtrack. It is here somewhere, but I just can't find it. It's not with the rest of the soundtracks. But I did put my hands on this Porgy and Bess from the same year. Lena Horne and Harry Belafonte, for the first time recording together, doing the music from Porgy and Bess. The next is to show colored vinyl soundtrack. Ennio Morricone. And this is, as you can see here, I believe this says The Pistol of Ringo and The Return of Ringo, maybe. And here is the vinyl for that. This was a Record Store Day 2022 release. It's really pretty good music. I enjoyed it. I won it from Eddie Perez over in Texas. He had a contest a couple years ago, I guess it was, and that was the prize. Number 8 is to show a 7-inch, and I don't have any 7-inch single recordings from soundtracks or anything like that. So I'll substitute and show 2 soundtracks from TV shows. Remember Shogun, which was a miniseries, I believe, from the early 1980s, I think. And who remembers from, I guess it was the the 1960s and into the early 70s, Dark Shadows, basically a vampire soap opera. I remember watching this sometimes when I was a little kid. Must have been, 1967, 66, something like that. Interesting or favorite cover is the next prompt. And I'll go with this iconic image from Close Encounters of the Third Kind. John Williams did the music. And, I saw it when it first came out, 1977, my senior year in high school. Saw it at the Lillington in Lillington, I do believe, our little small town movie theater. And it starred one of my favorite all-time actresses, Terry Garr. She played Richard Dreyfuss's wife, and boy, was she the suffering wife, trying to take care of those kids and had her husband just going off the rails crazy, obsessed with this idea of flying saucers. Boy, he would be at home today with all the conspiracy theories. And Prompt 10 was kind of show an OG and then a remake, and it could have been, you could do all kinds of things with this. So I already showed you Shaft. And how about Shaft in Africa? And the Four Tops do the theme for this one. Shaft in Africa. So there's the remake, or at least the sequel, I guess. So close enough. Next is a soundtrack from a movie from the 90s. And I can't say I've got any. I don't have any at all. I've got stuff from the 60s, even one from the 50s, stuff from the 70s, stuff from the 80s, stuff from the 2000s and beyond. But I don't have anything from the 90s. So instead, I'm going to substitute and show you 3 from the 80s. And I enjoyed this movie when it came out. I thought it was, and it merges musicians and movies here. Carney, starring Gary Busey, who was actually a decent drummer and played on some major records with Leon Russell. And Jodie Foster, there's Jodie, and Robbie Roberts. And here was a controversial one in the 1980s. Remember the Blue Lagoon? And this kind of edged on a little bit. Today, I think we'd consider it inappropriate, but that's, she is really young here. And, and from 1981, I believe this probably won the Oscar for Best Picture that year, Chariots of Fire. Number 12 was Bargain Bin Find, and I think I got this from a junk shop 4 or 5 years ago. From Russia with Love. What year was this? Like 63 or maybe or something like that. Maybe 65. And it's got Sean Connery, who I think is the only true James Bond. And finally, number 13 is to show something music or soundtrack related. And of course, that's the iconic song from the best musical ever made by far, The Sound of Music. How can you not love this? This is just the best. All right. So that will do it for Soundtracks Final Tag 2025. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope others will do this tag. There's a lot going on, and we only have so much time to do this. A lot of tags out there. But I think this is one that's fun to do, so maybe more will join in. Thank you for watching, and please remember to be kind to your neighbors, because, folks, we're all neighbors.